Well, hello, Book Marketing Pro Academy. Welcome to this afternoon's and this month's encouraging word. I'm Sarah Cormany, and I am so incredibly happy to be with you today. I get the joy, the privilege, the honor of talking about the thing that I think every author or every writer experiences at least once in their author journey, but I'm guessing probably more than once. And that's when our launch, as hard as we've tried, as much as we've planned, doesn't really go the way that we want it to. And y'all, most of you who have met me know this because I try to tell every author I meet just to make everybody feel like that it is normal to have a book launch not go to plan. But I had plans, y'all. I had plans for my book launch. I had outlined, I mapped out, I did all the things that I train other people to do. I was ready to roll out a plan that spanned over a beautiful 3-month timeline. But then one phone call changed everything. It seems that a spring launch in the publishing world can actually and does actually mean February. It was no longer 3 months that I had to roll out this beautiful plan. It was 6 weeks. And I will admit, after the Zoom call with my publisher was over, I just thought all was lost. I was completely what you envision a negative Nancy to be. I just lost my mind. But over the course of the next 24 hours, I think I realized something important, that God is the one who planted this dream in my heart in the first place. And just like I trust him with literally everything else, his timing, his plan was going to be perfect. Now, maybe you've been there too. Maybe you have yet to launch your book and you're like, man, I'm nervous that this is not going to go the way I had hoped. Because we plan, we pray, we show up, most of us, with our whole heart. And still, when a book launch doesn't go the way that we planned for it to, it can be, well, it can just kind of be disappointing. But friend, let me tell you something about the rest of my story, is that even now I can look back on that crazy, crazy time and tell you all was not lost. I had an incredible marketing team that came alongside me, and they knew, they're like, bless their heart, bless that girl's heart. Like, she works at a publishing company and she doesn't even know that the spring season starts in February. Really, they were gracious, they were kind. I had friends come out of the woodwork and help me pull together what could be pulled together. And kind of beautifully, because it didn't follow any plan I had set, it helped me release the experience so that I could just be grateful for what happened. And sometimes that's why things don't go to, I think, at least in my own limited journey, why God allows things not to go as planned, because it gives us a moment to reprioritize and say, do I really trust you with all that I have in my life? And for me, in that 24-hour time period where I was losing my mind, I wasn't trusting the one who had given me the message in the first place. Now, let me also say this. It's okay to grieve. Like, when you And it's okay when an alarm goes off during, see, not only when a launch doesn't go as planned, when a live call does not go as planned and an alarm goes off. You just got to flex. You got to flow and you got to trust God that this little message, despite the alarm going off, is no big deal. So now let me clarify. It is okay to grieve. It's okay for me to feel a little red-faced that, an alarm went off during my live presentation. Sometimes we look at our shelves and there's books upon books and we haven't sold really as many as we'd hoped for. Maybe we don't get the podcast interviews that we'd hoped we'd have as the book launches. Maybe we didn't get that golden number of book reviews on Amazon, but you know what? It's okay for that to sting just because this feels like the world has kind of overlooked what cost you years of labor and heart. That does sting, but your worth as a writer was really never meant to be measured solely in a book launch's success. Your worth is anchored in the one who called you to write in the first place. And honestly, here's the truth. This is sometimes the smaller story. That is the truer one. Sometimes the quiet release is actually the perfect soil for seeds that take longer to grow. I know in my own life, we were in the middle of a season where I could not hold on white-knuckled to all the different plans and still meet the needs of my family and the people that I loved. And in many ways, I look back at that launch as a severe mercy of God just saying, okay, I'm going to rip your hands away from this so that you can see the bigger picture. And if we think about it, Jesus never rushed a story or his story. He met people on dusty roads, at dinner tables, in places that the world often overlooks. Your book doesn't have to shout to matter. Sometimes it only needs to speak to the person in front of you. One reader encouraged, one life changed, one heart healed. That is not failure, my friends. That is ministry. And as much as we here at Redemption Press want to give you the tools to sell books and have a successful book launch, we want you to remember that most of all, that this matters beyond book sales. It matters to the heart of eternity. So maybe your launch is not the grand finale you imagined, but it's actually the beginning of a much longer journey. Books have long lives, my friends. They can sit on shelves and wait for the exact moment someone needs them. They find their way through borrowed copies and dog-eared pages into hands that you're never going to see this side of eternity. So don't measure the worth of your words by 1 week on the calendar. God is not bound by launch dates. Even when the launch falls flat, he is faithful. Even when the numbers disappoint, he multiplies loaves and fishes. Even when we feel overlooked, he sees. He sees. Writer, your offering is not wasted. So keep showing up. Keep writing the words he has planted in your heart and trust him with the results. When a discouragement or surprises that you never envisioned possible show up, May your heart hear his voice over your story. You did not fail. I am not finished. I will carry these words farther than you could ever hope to imagine. So, friends, have a beautiful day. Take all that we are giving you in how to do a meaningful and successful launch, but don't hold on so tight that you miss that God is moving in the middle of it. And let me look over here to see if there are any comments. Oh, Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Oh, it's so nice that I saw that there were 6 people at one point watching me with my phone alarm going off, and now the whole world is. So I'm so glad you were here, and I'm so glad that you found this encouraging. I will actually be back with you tomorrow for our next Fun Filtered extravaganza. And I believe our sweet Carol is going to be sharing her live industry update later today at, I think, and I could have this wrong, but I think 3 p.m. Pacific time. So don't miss it, or don't miss catching the replay. So have a one. Oh yes, my Ioka, mine is also, I plan way too much for my own good. And that is why God was like, well, we're just going to take care of this for you, my dear. He knows me well. So see you tomorrow, and be sure to catch Carol on the replay. You'll all just have our hearts, and we adore you. So let me see if I can finish this off with the appropriate outro and try to redeem my alarm going off. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.